Good evening, welcome. I'm Kenna Crouch, and this is for my YouTube channel or any other social media channel, or for anybody who's practicing yoga online. This is for you. Welcome. This is actually sort of a spontaneous practice that I just decided I was gonna do, and in the spirit of giving for the holidays, I wanted to gift this winter solstice practice to anybody who wants to join in the love of yoga, and especially as we close this year out. As I said, winter solstice, it's actually on the 21st, so it's in a couple days, really early in the morning. I wanted to gift this practice to anybody who needs it to ground their energy, to anchor into the transition we're all going through all over the world, and to help us look inward and sit in the darkness and the stillness and really reflect on what we wish to create in this next phase we're entering. And in order to do that, what are we going to release, let go of? Old patterns, old stories we tell ourselves, negative relationships to self and others, taking on other people's drama. So it's a really potent time to practice. So I really invite you and encourage you to spontaneously practice along with me tonight. I will be improvising and doing a flow that feels good in my body. I'm presuming it's going to be pretty grounded flow, but I always will offer levels, modifications, and variations for all levels of practitioner. So this is really an all levels winter solstice vinyasa flow. And I want to just share some words on this winter solstice from the Power Path. It's a source I really like online for astrological, spiritual, any kind of esoteric words and thoughts and just lovely stuff. So I wanted to share this with you. Lena writes, honor the solstice by anchoring something you are transitioning into. It could be a new relationship, project, practice, or a way of thinking. There is much that remains the same as we enter into a new cycle, but what can change is the foundational patterns underlying all the judgments of the past. The way we see and perceive the world can be radically different if we allow it to be. This is the bigger picture that wants to seduce us to be more inspired, more creative, and more hopeful. It is all possible. The solstice can also be considered as an ending and a beginning. We always recommend doing some kind of ceremony where you honor and acknowledge the past, both the easy parts and the challenging parts. Make an offering that represents the past and give it to the spirit of fire as a completion. Then focus a bit of time dreaming what you wish for this coming year. So, in terms of the theme and the inspiration for this yoga practice tonight, this sacred ritual ceremony, think that winter solstice. And I also wanted to share, I'm diffusing in the room right now these wonderful Young Living oils, and I'm diffusing release and inner child. So they're really beautiful blends, Young Living. You can always go to my website, find my member number there, and more info if you want to buy these guys, 24% off if you become a member on my team. Check it out. They're really potent, really healing, really amazing. Inner Child, Release, those are just two of the wonderful blends that I have and that I really love, and I thought they were appropriate for practice tonight. So we'll begin with a little seated meditation. I won't talk too much, just guide you through some breath and body awareness. And then we'll go from there and we'll fill it out. So just please enjoy your practice with me tonight. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good. Honor yourself, your edges and your boundaries, and then also don't be scared to push through a little bit and challenge yourself and build some fire so that you can really burn through those things you're releasing from your past. And be in awe of the inner child. Take care of the inner child. Be compassionate with it. and be in wonder in your practice, in this amazing gift that is your body, and all the health you enjoy, and the presence of your wonderful being here on the planet. You know, it's really a gift. So enjoy it. This practice will be just about an hour or so, and we'll get started. So find a comfortable seat. I'm gonna head back here to my mat. Take a sip of tea along the way. So you're just gonna sit nice and tall. And if you have props at home, please feel more than welcome to utilize them. For instance, you may sit up on a block or a bolster. In fact, I'm gonna grab a pillow to sit up on. I didn't prepare that, but I have one here. And this will just make it feel a little nicer to sit. Take some pressure out of the joints, bringing the knees below the hips. Again, sit in any way that you like, that feels good in your body, which allows you to sit tall. And rest the hands to a comfortable place. Ground the sits bones and root the tailbone toward the earth. Feel the heaviness in the pelvis and the legs. And from the rooting, lengthen and rise up through the top of the head and the back of the skull, a bit back in space. And then the core as well, slightly back in space. The shoulders are soft down the back and behind the heart. The side bodies stay long, and the sides of the throat long. Begin to feel into the breath. Notice how the body corresponds with the breath. You inhale, it expands. And you exhale, it contracts. Inhale, it fills up the belly, the lungs, the chest, and the throat. And you exhale out the throat, the chest, the lungs, and the belly. Totally empty, navel squeezes to spine at the base and the bottom of the breath. Wrap your full awareness around the breath as it flows. Life force energy, prana charged breath, awakening each energetic center as it moves up and down the central energetic channel of the spine. And utilize this presence that you create create with your mind-body-breath connection to really drop in, to be here in the physical plane, ready to release any stories of the past into the fire that you will create, empowered in your own body, and that you can choose to make space for and release. And then maybe there's just a pause. Maybe there's already the beginnings of a new intention of what you wish to call in, to create more of, to invite into your world in this next phase where our days will be getting longer, we'll have more light. And a new year to manifest our dreams. Keep skillfully riding the waves of our life with grace, ease, kindness, compassion, and bliss. Sweet bliss. So this is the practice. Let's be really open to whatever evolves and whatever comes on the path. And know that it's perfect in all its imperfections. Practice here a skilled control on your mat so that you can let go of control in other important areas of your life. So there is always element of surrender. And in our yoga practice, we must always surrender to the breath and the intelligence of the body. What it tells us through our practice, the asana, the pranayam, the energetic and spiritual awakenings we may experience. So take your hands to your heart and just for another moment or so here, meditate on your winter solstice intention. Related to anything I offered thus far or something completely different that resonates. Just whatever you intuitively feel is right now. And because we must always give our best and then release any expectations for what comes out of our best. Release the intention you just set and dedicate this practice to someone else. Maybe it's someone you love, or maybe it's someone who's really challenging you, or even causing you pain right now. And this could be somebody that you love. Offer it up to that person. 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 Maybe it's someone who needs some extra love right now, some extra support. Send them the good vibrations of your practice. Into the fire and out into the universe, we'll begin our flow with a cleansing breath and an Om. To your inner teacher. And we will begin in a tabletop pose on all fours. Just excuse me while I check on the time right now so I make sure we stay really good with our hour. So here you'll stack the bones, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Just really find the flat back to begin. Melt and open the heart, and at the same time push the hands down into the earth. The inner thighs roll back as the belly draws in and the tailbone lengthens. Press the toes into the mat, as well as all 10 fingertips. And inhale, arch the spine, belly downward. Exhale, round the back. Release the head. Inhale, sits bones up, shoulders back, collarbones wide. Exhale, round like a cat. Continue with the breath. We always link breath to movement. So we're connected and supported from the inside out. And your breath can begin to shift toward Ujjayi Pranayama. This is the ocean sounding audible breath. The lips are sealed. Softly constrict in the back of the throat. And then return to a neutral spine. Now from here we'll shift the hands farther forward on the mat, just so you can see my alignment a little better. I'll take this sweater off, just in case you're watching. If not, no worries. You can simply follow along by listening. It's always most important to feel your inner experience, and matters a lot less what it looks like. So the hands forward, shoulder width distance apart, wrists parallel to the top edge of the mat. Send the hips up and back. And start to lengthen the spine, backs of the legs. You can begin by walking it out. This is downward facing dog. Really feel the sits bones widen and lift. The navel draw in, the ribs draw in.
The shoulders plug on the back. And the heart center melts. The heels drip down. And squeeze the arms and the thighs. And start to walk the hands back to the feet. Go slow. Standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, inhale. Draw the inner thighs back. Hold the navel in, melt the heart, and lengthen the spine. Really extend back through the tail, forward through the crown. Your hands are at outer shins or to blocks or to the mat under the shoulders. Take another full inhale. Exhale, fold. And walk the hands back forward to the top of the mat in downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. The breath is smooth and rhythmic, steady and fluid. Breath is what really allows you to drop in. Bring the left foot a little more center on the mat. Inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, step through to lunge. Plug the inner thighs together. Again, here you might have blocks under your hands. Stay long through the back of the neck. Press back a bit through the left heel. Exhale, release the back knee. And inhale, come upright. Ground your hands to your front thigh. Feel the pelvis. It's really underneath you. If it was a bowl full of water, nothing spilling forward. And so you exhale and find the stretch in the front of the left hip. Maybe a little water spills forward and out of the bowl, but not too much. So keep the tailbone rooted, the back of the waistline full, the low belly active, and the heart lifted. Exhale, let the arms hang to the side. Stay strong in the legs. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. Exhale, stretch to the right. And the right hand here is to a block, or down on the floor on the outside of the mat. Play with the gaze. Where does it feel freeing for your neck? Mindful of the right shoulder, wrap it under the heart. Inhale, come upright in the spine, arms continue to hang heavy. Exhale, place them down. Lift the back knee, and inhale, come forward, lengthen, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Pull the navel in, chin in, start to roll up with the inhale. Tadasana, an opportunity to ground, find steadiness. So equal standing pose. Imprint this in your muscle memory. We'll return back to it. Inhale, reach the arms up like you're circling the sun. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to downward facing dog. The right foot a bit more center on the mat. Inhale, three-legged down dog, left side. Keep the hips level. Keep pushing into the hands like you're pushing the earth away. Energy out through the left toes or heel. So you can choose flex or floint. Exhale, lunge. We'll begin building some fire in the legs. Hug the inner thighs to the midline. Feel the inner right thigh draw up. And the left hip down and back. Broaden the collarbones. See if you can be lighter on the hands. The space, take in the quiet. How nice it is to have an opportunity to not be up in the head, in the physical plane, in the body, the breath. Exhale, release the back knee. Inhale, come up. Especially in our society today, there's so much mental head energy all the time in our careers, in our relationships with each other, our social networks. It can be intense. So just to cope better and relate better to all of that energy, it's so important that we have our body practices, our mindful movement practices. Those things that help us disconnect to reconnect. Like when you reset your computer or the internet connection, when you update your iPhone. And let the arms come heavy. Inhale, sweep the right arm, exhale it over. And don't lose the strength in the legs. The root and the tail, lift through the pit of the abdomen and the heart. And find your drishti, your gaze, and feel the breath. The sensations in the body, what is opening, releasing, stretching, lengthening, strengthening, or softening. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, the hands down. Lift the back knee, inhale, step forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees to again roll up. Exhale, equal standing. Or Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, circle the arms like rays of sun. Soon to be here for more hours. Exhale, fold. At least for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, inhale, lengthen. Exhale to downward facing dog. Now we'll try here one of each variation that I'd like to do tonight. Solar and the lunar salute. So the high to the low plank, or the knees, chest, chin. So we'll start with that. Inhale, come high onto the tippy toes. Exhale, the knees down, chest down, heart between thumbs, chin down. And the elbows draw in and back. And the shoulder heads stay a little lifted. As the navel pulls in, the tailbone lengthens, and then just rest the chin light. Inhale onto the belly, send the toes back, lift the heart, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, release. Let's do one more cobra because it always feels so nice. Open the heart, stretch the front body. Counter all of the gazing at the cell phone, the computer screen, all the sitting in the car with the head hanging forward. Ah, it is so healing to backward bend. So breathe into it however challenging it is. Inhale. Exhale, release. Bring your hands back towards the sides of the chest. Tuck the toes. And let's inhale. Press up. Hips back. And exhale. Downward facing dog. So that was our Vinyasa style 1. Our Vinyasa style 2 will be Chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, high plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Body in one long line, heels through top of the head. Exhale, lower and hover, elbows in and back. Don't drop the shoulder heads too much. Inhale to the tops of the feet, lift the thighs, upward facing dog. Exhale over the toes, pull the belly in to help you come back, down dog. And breathe. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Exhale, step forward, one foot then the other. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extend the spine forward, now rise. Reach up. Exhale, equal standing. Take these little moments to absorb the pause, the feeling in between cycles, to honor it. Just like we're honoring the winter solstice tonight. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. From plank, you can choose knees, chest, chin, or high to low plank. Inhale to your open heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, prepare. See, this time to exhale, step, or take a light hop forward. Really bend the knees and make your legs into springs to jump forward. Inhale, half lift. Thigh muscles are strong. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Reach up, lift the heart. Exhale, samastiti, equal standing. One more round, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. You can also just hold plank or go straight into downward dog. If you're doing chaturanga, gaze forward as you lower. Follow the breath. So these first few rounds of sun salutes, full of dynamic stretching and movement. It's intended to really safely warm our body up and get it ready to further open and release, or even to further strengthen and hold a stronger boundary. And that's yoga. It's balance of strength and flexibility, effort and ease, the yin and the yang. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, make your way forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Stand. Breathe. Sometimes you need to fix your hair or maybe hydrate, but generally you want to be non-distracted as much as possible. Really in it, present. Another quote I really love that I'll share is, hold the vision, trust the process. And that's been really resonating for me this winter solstice. Being okay in the unknown, the mystery of life will always be there. So we have to practice being more comfortable with it, open to it. To actually benefit from it. It's possible. Bring the hands to the heart center. Exhale, bend the knees and take a seat into chair pose. You're going to make sure the feet are nice and parallel and the knees are stacked over the ankles. And the knees in line with the hips. And really right here, feel your tailbone curl down and under, and then your low belly, pull up and back. From there, stretch the heart, deeper into the hips. And the weight's a little more in the heels. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Hook the left elbow to the outer right thigh, and then send your chest upwards. Hands at the heart. gaze down and check out the alignment. Perhaps pull the left hip and knee back. If that feels okay. And find your twist. You ultimately want to be in whatever optimal alignment is feeling very good and freeing for your body, as well as challenging, but never pain. We never go into the place of pain. So make sure you're really honoring that. Inhale, untwist, exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair with the hands at the heart. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you twist. And perhaps check in with alignment from time to time. And work the twist. One more breath. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to plank. Choose your manner of flow. Or Vinyasa, as it's called, which just refers to that harmonious, fluid sequence of postures that's linked to the breath. Vinyasa means to place in a special way, and that's what it's referring to. It's dance on your mat of postures, the breath that links them all together. Into an expanding and contracting, rising and falling rhythm. Exhale, come to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale one more time to chair. This time invite the arms forward or out to the sides, goalpost arms, or up. I've chosen now to keep my feet hips width. So totally fine to give yourself some space. It's just more of a stylistic choice, really. And sometimes widening, giving yourself more space can be empowering too, in the sense that you just have more space to work within your body. So it's not quite so limiting, not quite so contracting. So space it out if it feels good. Or bring it together if it feels good. One more breath in chair. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Turn your body to the side. You have to excuse me because practicing and talking at the same time is quite a challenge. So I will need to hydrate my throat from time to time, so you'll excuse me. So once you've turned to the side, take the feet parallel. Feel the legs energize. And again, there's your pelvic bowl, full of water for now, nothing's spilling forward and out. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Really squeeze the shoulder blades back behind the heart. And then bend the elbows so your palms connect together.
And see if you can activate more strength through your upper back, your upper arms, your shoulders. And then keep that with you. Inhale. Exhale, tip at the hips. You can bend the knees as much as needed. Forward, fold. Release the shoulders, stretch. Bring the hands down to the outsides of the legs or ankles or to the mat. Now lengthen the spine, hands to hips, elbows up, rise. Send the right toes forward. Keep the back foot as is parallel to the back edge of the mat. And we'll exhale, lunge and find warrior two. And the right heel is in line with the left heel or bisecting the inner arch of the left foot. So here we go, back to the fire. Just let it cook. The breath can then wash it away. And a mantra that I really love, if I ever find myself getting up into my head while I'm holding a pose, is that I'm breathing in love and breathing out fear. Even just simply, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Inhale, lengthen the leg. Exhale, return to the lunge. Shift forearm to thigh and send the left arm over on the diagonal. And if you need to shorten the stance a little bit or turn the back toes slightly up and in, that might feel nice. Just keep your shoulders under the heart and the right sit bone drawing under, tailbone lengthening to the back heel, and maybe you dive deeper from here into block or mat. Send the inner left thigh down and back and rotate the heart open. This is Utthita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle pose. And exhale, release the hands down, release the back knee. Send the hips back in space. Extend through the front leg. And the knee can bend to any degree that's needed to not go to the place of pain or overstretching, any kind of harm in the body. It should feel good, even if intense. And maybe there's some discomfort. Discomfort's not always a bad thing. Often we have to feel discomfort to grow. Pain's a different story, so watch out for that as you fold over your leg into half split.
couple more cycles, really check in with the breath. Fully flex the right toes back. And inhale, long spine. Exhale, lunge forward. Let's pivot back to the center. Lengthen and fold. Inhale, lengthen, bring your hands to your hips and come all the way upright to stand. And just notice that because I'm on the carpet, my mat, it shifts because I'm pressing so strongly. So let me just bring it back. Thanks for being patient with all my distracting movements. Left side, beginning with Virabhadrasana 2. Warrior, dos, or due. So it takes time to come in. There's no need to rush. And once you're in a pose, you know, it's not like you're stuck or super glued there. You're continuously evolving, expanding, contracting into it. Exploring your edge, maybe your edge shifts a little deeper. The longer you're in, plug the shoulders to the back of the heart. And through your feet, press down and out at the same time. Hug down and in. Sit in the fire, a couple more. You go a little deeper. Woo, feeling the heat. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe if you're shortening the stance, you do a little bit here before you exhale, lunge, and then shift to the extended side angle pose. Draw the left sit bone under. Keep the front knee stacked over the ankle and the heart shining up. Of stillness, relative quiet, what comes up, pay attention. Maybe it's a story, maybe it's a deeper hidden truth. That's why we have to listen. Exhale, release it down. Half split pose. Ardha Hanumanasana. Notice how my pelvis is stacked over my back right knee, but I'm not sitting back into the heel. Maybe you have blocks under the hands here. Inhale, extend the heart forward. Draw the left heel down and back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, this time lunge forward and press back to plank. Exhale, flow through a vinyasa. Move mindfully, a little slower. so that you're really paying attention and bringing the art of awareness to your movements and your practice. And then we'll find a child's pose. Big toes connect, knees wide, arms forward, or knees together with the arms back at the sides. I'll invite you to take a few more breaths there, surrendering in child's pose. Balasana. It's a good time to revive the Ujjayi breath. To reconnect to the intention of your practice. My, how the time flies. Come on up and take your knees just hip width distance now with the toes tucked. And we'll be placing the crown of the head down. So measure from the base of your palm, or right where your wrist meets the bottom of your hand at your brow line. And then lengthen all the way up, and at the tip of the middle finger, wherever that lands, that's technically the crown of your head. So that's the point you're grounding and rooting into the earth when you get inverted. And we're going to do it this way with the hands interlaced in the opposite direction, so opposite thumb on the outside as you did before. Plug the shoulders back, and let's ground the crown and draw the arms over. Use the strength in your body to press the skull down. Now, if for any reason you have some neck issues or injuries, or just you know that it doesn't feel good or isn't good for you to be on top of your head, you're going to skip this part. Maybe take child's pose or just sit and breathe, or another posture of your choice that fits at this point of the flow. Good release. And before we turn that into an actual inverted posture, well, headstand, let's continue to build our way there. Downward facing dog. The feet walk halfway forward and the hands halfway back. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring the feet together, big toes to connect. Inhale, rise, reach up. And exhale, release. And find your tree pose. Ground into the left foot. And draw the right foot, well, the sole of the foot, either to the inner left ankle, calf, maybe up to the inner thigh. I'll play with half lotus tonight. So I want a little bit of the hip stretch that lotus provides. So we're going to do whichever variation suits you. Find the branches of your tree. Be imaginative.
Pull the ribs down and in, root the tailbone, waistline back. And on an exhale, release it. Take a full breath. Vrikshasana tree pose. Left side. So your standing leg is the trunk of your tree. It's very strong, solidly rooted. It's holding you up. And what's below the trunk? The roots. And those are the four corners of the foot. So don't let your big toe lift up and off the mat. As well, the inner heel. Any tree you want to be, super free. I just felt like rhyming in that moment. Full of glee. Be all that you see internally. You never know what kind of creativity will come out. Exhale. Let it go. Full body breath. It's good to feel neutral, to be able to also feel and tap into the rise and the fall. The whole aspect of the wave. Okay. Let's make our way back down so we can explore this headstand or this inversion. And I'll preface it this way: if you're not ready to headstand tonight, that's totally fine. There's a lot of options. You can try a bridge pose, for instance, or even a wheel pose. Try it with a block under the sacrum, or even legs up in the air from that position, block under sacrum, or even just your pelvis grounded on the mat, legs up in the air, or even against a wall. So as you can see, there's tons of variations, tons of options. Practice the one that honors and serves your highest tonight. The intention you have for your winter solstice. So maybe it's to challenge and empower yourself with headstand. Maybe it's to back off a little bit, or somewhere in between. You have to explore to find out. So let's make our way down. So as I said, maybe you just end up lying on your back with your legs up, or a block right here underneath your sacrum. Just want to make sure everybody has an option. For a headstand, come back to that point that you measured. Wrist crease to the top of the middle finger. There's your crown, and that's the part that's pushing into the floor when you're in your headstand, and then the rest of the body is extending and rising up from that point. So it's just like Tadasana, but flipped. Or even Sanskrit-wise, well actually that's handstand, excuse me, that's like upside down tree, but it's the same idea. You're just inverted from that Tadasana position. So the tailbone is still long, low belly pulled up and in, side body is extending, sides of the throat extending, hugged into the center line, and from that strong hug again, extending out through the periphery. So finding the full length of the bones without losing the strength that hugs into the center, that maintains the balance.
the breath also support you, the focus, eye gaze, and you're welcome to try this at a wall as well. Using a wall is a wonderful way to just break through the other side of inversions, get over a little bit of that initial fear of falling. Eventually though, you want to make sure that you do move away from the wall, so don't let it be your forever crutch. Come out and center, especially if you've been practicing headstand for a year or 2 years. Make sure that you're really coming to that place. Perhaps it's uncomfortable because you might fall, but you know the floor, it's usually not very far away, and you can also really brace yourself from falling. You can somersault and protect your neck, or you can always keep one leg back behind you so that no matter what, if you feel unsteady, you can always bring that one lagging leg back down to the floor, so you don't have to roll forward or fall to the side or anything like that. Okay, so it's worth talking about all those elements because it's a really powerful posture. Shirsasana, it's like king of all the asana in some schools of yoga thought. So it's really potent, it's really powerful, and it has to be super respected, especially in terms of alignment and energy, just to really make it what it is and special and healing and empowering. You have to honor those boundaries. So let's go for it. I think I've been talking enough. Crown of the head to the mat. You have two options. Tripod style, which is what I'll show first, or hands interlaced. And they'll be, you know, at the upper back part of the head with the elbows in about the distance of the shoulders. Okay, so not too wide, definitely not too narrow either. You want to feel good and solid, like your shoulders that can really plug onto the back. Okay, so crown. And this would be here your tripod stance. So the elbows at a 90-degree bend over the wrists, and then the elbows in line with the shoulders. So this would be your tripod. I'm gonna do it with my hands supporting me. Lift the hips up. Walk the feet in as close as you can. Make sure you're not rolling forward on the top of your head, that you're still truly on the crown. And take one leg up into the air. Strong trajectory up. And play with finding your balance from there. And like I said earlier, you don't have to lift the second leg very far or very high. You can keep it kind of hovering just so you know you're not going to fall. The foot can just come down whenever it needs to secure you. Otherwise, you'll find the midline. Breathe into it. Activate through the feet, either flexed or flointed. You're welcome to hold this 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe even 3. Maybe you curl into a ball to come down. Maybe you play with shapes with your legs while you're in it. Maybe you work your core a bit and then send your legs back up. However you want to play. Let your inner child come out, fearless, curious. And it's child's pose whenever you need a rest. Stay here a little longer in your child's pose, or if you were still in your headstand, make your way towards your child's pose. And then take some time to feel the effects of Shirsasana, the headstand. How the time flies. So when you're ready, let's come back to downward facing dog. I'm going to check my time on the actual phone. Figured I'd probably go over the hour. Tend to do that. But that's okay. If you need to wrap it up from here and just come right into Shavasana, you're welcome to do that. I just wanted us to get a nice hip opener in, and then we'll come in for corpse pose. So from downward dog, take the right knee to the outer right wrist. And draw the left leg straight back from the left hip. And you determine the angle of this front shin. If you bring it more forward towards the top edge of the mat, it makes the stretch a bit more intense. You can also prop your hip up. A pillow, a blanket, a block. You can also take this onto your back, thread the needle style instead. Or even just a happy baby. Half pigeon pose is a wonderful posture for letting go, clearing out stale emotions that are stored in the body, or for at least allowing you to acknowledge them, to then let them go. So fold in, and we'll take your time there to breathe. We hold our hip openers a bit longer. You're welcome to stay here a bit longer. I'm going to continue to flow through transition just for the sake of our time. So come to three-legged down dog, bend and roll the hip open. Those of you who want to get more back bendy, flip it into a wild thing. Send the heart forward and out, the tailbone down and back. And inhale, transition back to a dog. Notice how downward dog has shifted over the course of your practice. Half pigeon, other side. Take the necessary time to enter into your perfect pose today. the breath. When you're ready to transition, inhale, rise, extend back, bend the knee, roll the left hip open. This is just helping to flush the hip out. Perhaps you flip it. Feel wild. Radiant, shining heart. Embracing the experience of life. All its ups and downs. Its rights and lefts. Its forwards and backs.